I shift into a different gear on Wednesdays. You may have caught on, and maybe you haven't caught on, that on Wednesdays, I'm wearing this shirt, which says free hugs. You'll also probably notice that my guests on Wednesdays wear the same. And this guy is doing it right now. Josiah McKeon, good morning, buddy. How the hell are you?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing, man?
Brother, I'm doing fine. I I got a hug in the park last Wednesday from first of all, I forgot that I was wearing this shirt. Have you done that?
Oh, all the time.
Totally forgot. This lady comes up to me, gives me this huge hug, and I'm looking at her, forgetting that I'm wearing this shirt. And I'm like, she knows me. I don't know if I know her, but I must because she's given me a hug. Turns out I did not know her. She was, in fact, a complete stranger. She didn't know me from Adam. Lives up in the kingdom, was down here in Barrie, and I kind of looked at her like, and I was like, thanks for the hug. And she's like, well, yeah, I mean, I see the shirt. And I'm like, why the hell not? I'm just going to give him a hug. And I was like, oh, that's okay. That's it right there. Buddy,
Love it. Love it.
the oxytocin was released into the bloodstream.
100%, man.
You know what I'm
Sometimes
saying?
I think sometimes I think even more when it's a stranger because your brain is just like what's on right
I
now.
know. I
It's
know.
incredible.
It is. She was happy. I was happy. And we had a nice conversation. And that was that. That's what it's about, man. I haven't even had time to tell Tom about this.
Mm.
But it was a positive experience. And I don't know, man. You guys, Sweethearts and Heroes is, in a nutshell, is an organization that has roots right here in Vermont. You guys started right here. Tom Murphy at the helm, a team now of I don't know how many, 15, 20, whatever.
Maybe a little under 10.
Is it? Is that what it is now?
Yeah, I think so. I could probably name everybody, but yeah, I think about 10.
All right.
Yeah. We've had some people come in, some people leave, things like that. So
You guys are just crushing it. You're going around to, you guys have outgrown the local, I don't want to say outgrown, but you know what I'm saying. You've spread into so many other states. You guys are impacting students at schools beyond the region now. You're going all over the place, not just New England. You're going into schools and you're teaching kids in a really intense way with different strategies. And we're going to talk about some of those in just a little bit. Teaching kids some of the things that they're not learning in the core curriculum, and certainly things that was not being taught when I was in elementary school. Respect. The importance of being kind, the importance of tapping your own brakes in your life and stop. Just stop and reflect, think, have some broader perspective. I mean, when I was 10 years old, I was not, it was a different world, I understand, but I just wasn't really wired that way. And you guys are doing this with children, and you're teaching them things that is so far outside of that core curriculum. Some of the life skills, this is the foundational stuff that is literally going to change the world. Not to say it's not important to have the history, the math, the science, the social studies, but you guys are really you're dealing with real stuff that's going on outside of the school, outside of the classroom, things happening at the playground, and also things that are happening at home, and things that are happening during the summer when you got a couple of months off. And just being a good person and doing the right thing even when you're not being watched. I love that about Sweethearts and Heroes.
Yeah, man. It's just fascinating you're hitting on this. Because yeah, I was doing some just extracurricular reading. I always like to I'm a pretty religious guy, faith-based. But I just do some extra reading, and something I was just contemplating a lot was that exact idea, of, are you just living it out when you're in school, when you're seen by the public eye, or are you doing it in your daily day-to-day life when nobody watches you, or whether you're with your wife or your kid, and are you treating them the same way that you go out and treat all these other students, all these other teachers, with kindness and love and patience? Sometimes it's a little easier to treat somebody that you just met in a school with a lot of patience. But when it's your kid who's kicking you 5, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times a night, and you're just like, dude, I want to, excuse me, I want to body slam this kid. Come on, dude, just push off of me. And, but to exercise patience in that moment, love, kindness in that moment, I'm a big believer in, and I'm really against pretending. I think I've seen a number of people in my life that have pretended, and I don't hold it against them, because there are reasons why people pretend. It's hard to be vulnerable. We talk about vulnerability all the time, but it's hard to be vulnerable, to look silly or ridiculous in front of other people. And I've just seen that a lot in my life, and it's probably one of my number one struggles, that I aim to try to fix, man, is don't be a pretender. What you do in the public eye is what you do at home. And I think Sweethearts and Heroes is about that. And I think that both Tom and Rick, and honestly everybody else on the Sweethearts and Heroes team, works tirelessly to do that, to work in their personal life just as much as they work in the profession that we do. So yeah, thanks for noticing that. I appreciate that, man.
I've also noticed your hair, dude. I mean, your hair is badass.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know, it wasn't meant to be for that reason, but I appreciate that. My reasoning behind that is, I grew up, man. I don't know. It's a silly thing. It's a silly thing to say, but I grew up and everybody had something to say about my hair. Everybody. I mean, you go to the hairdresser. Wow, you have such gorgeous hair. Oh, it's so nice. A number of people, as you talk. I mean, I've had young ladies, young dudes, like when I was growing up. Dude, your hair's so awesome. And man, it kind of goes to your head. It's been in my head for years. I've gotten better with it, but it sounds like a silly and ridiculous thing, but I just had to lop it all off because it was starting to look too good. If I didn't tell you this, JD, but I've been cutting my own hair for the past year, really. And when I say cutting my own hair, I do the sides and I do the top, and then I have to have my wife do the back because I just can't see back there. But I've been doing it, and man, I will spend up to an hour working on it because it has to be perfect.
Understand.
And man, it just I just had this revelation that, dude, it's not about your hair. Not that I go throughout my day thinking about that, but
Sure.
shave it off. You
Sure.
know, start of the school year, shave it off, man. It was
Wow.
tough. It was tough. It was tough for me, man.
It'll always, maybe not always, grow back.
Maybe not always. My dad's pretty bald.
Man, I got to tell you, it takes me 3.4, maybe 4 seconds tops to do mine in the morning. This is how long it takes. Ready? Done. Anyway, listen, man, I was thinking about you last night and reading my email from Leon. And I was reading up on your bio and stuff. And I was like, that's impressive. Wow. That's cool. Then I continued reading and I was like, oh, I forgot about that about him. Oh, yep, forgot about that too. And then I was like, yeah, we're going to talk about all those things tomorrow morning. Then this morning, I was like, I don't know, man. Your bio is impressive. Quite honestly, I can copy and paste it, which I may have already done, into the comments here. But I went back and watched a little bit of our last episode together. And dude, I got to say, before I even go an inch further, we got to get some FaceTime going, dude. I know you're crazy, I'm crazy, but at some point, maybe this winter, we can do some hang time, dude. Because I really get on with you, dude. You and I are on the same level. This morning, driving into school, I bring my daughter. She's 10. You've had an incredible impact at her school, by the way. Drive her into school, and I try very hard to remember the second that motor starts in my vehicle that I shut the radio off. I don't want to hear anything, especially the news of what's going on. And I want quiet in the in the car for the 7.5-minute drive to school. And she started telling me this morning about this, which I'm not going to I won't get into, but she started telling me this morning about this movie that she's writing. And I'm like, I want to see this. Are you writing this at school? No. She's writing it in her mind. She's creating a story. She's tapping into the creative side, and she's writing this movie. And I got thinking for a second, and I had a conversation yesterday with a gentleman who and his wife who were on the air with me, Matt and Danny. And Matt was telling me off the air, and I wish our cameras and mics were still on, but he was basically telling me about how what's in a kid's mind today. And when I say kid, I'm talking, old enough to really think and make decisions independently, all the way to and through millennials and beyond. And Matt was approximately my age, and he's like, dude, it's over for us, man. We're done. It's what we think and how we feel about the good old days and how it was and all that stuff. Yeah, there's some importance to it. There's some core values that we can bring to our children and whatnot. But give these kids the benefit of the doubt that maybe they're dialed into something here. Maybe they're going to figure out how to make this world that we live in a better place after you're gone.
Hmm.
So, I'm listening to Lily's movie and the basic plot of it. And I was like, woo, I wonder if long after I'm gone, I wonder if that could potentially be a movie that's in theaters. I wonder if Lily's going to be an actress. I wonder if she's going to be a director. You don't know. You don't know when you're in front of a child, when you're in circle, when you're trying to have an impact as someone representing Sweethearts and Heroes in front of either one kid or 10 or 15 of them. You don't know who you're talking to. This could be someone who could just absolutely explode with success in something to do with their life in the future. That's one of the things I was thinking about this morning.
100%, man. I'm wow. That's awesome that your daughter's writing this movie in her head, dude. I can just remember, growing up, our whole family was just about movies.
Oh.
It's really the only family time we did was watch a movie together. And as a whole family, my brothers and I, you remember Brian.
Of course.
He
really enjoy having that dude on the air, by the way.
Yeah. Well, he's got, I love all my brothers. He's got a particular position in my own heart and head because he was the director growing up.
Oh.
We did everything that he said to do because he was the guy with all the ideas. And to not go down that rabbit hole, but yeah, man, everybody that you meet has the potential to change the world. Everybody has the potential to change the world. And I'm actually working on right now, man, this concept. One of the things that we really look at, do research on, read books on, but this thing called belonging. And, I just had this, and I think Brian even mentioned some of this on one of the podcasts that him and Loudon are doing, Love Your Lawn. But let me ask you a question here. Who's your favorite fictional character? It can be any. It doesn't have to be a superhero. Just favorite fictional character, man. Somebody that you maybe even identify with a little bit.
That's it. You have no idea how dangerous that question is. Fictional character. I don't know, man. I lean toward the Incredible Hulk.
Why?
Well, because he was maybe a little bit of fiction and nonfiction at the same time. I don't know. Don't make me angry.
No, that's good, man. Yeah, that's good.
I don't know. A guy that I don't know. He kind of lived this regular life and was going about with all the other normal people, but would transform into someone who reacted and fought against evil, I guess, in a nutshell. I don't know. But
no, man.
I mean, look at what happened. Look at what happened when he got pissed.
Yeah.
Freaking shirt was exploding with his muscles coming out. I feel like that every day of my life.
Hmm. That's deep, man. Well, but it's interesting because he's also one of the superheroes that doesn't want to be a superhero.
I know.
One of the few.
True.
He really
Hates it,
just doesn't
actually.
leave me out of it.
Yes, you're right.
And if you watch, what is it? The Avengers, the first Avengers movie, he's just trying to help people with his basic, simplistic humanness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, if I can remember correctly, he's in a rundown home, and there's people with this sickness and illness, and he's trying to fix it. And that's where he gets met by the Black Widow, and she's trying to recruit him. And he's like, "Listen, I'm doing it. The greater scheme is, yeah, but wouldn't you want to save the world?" And that's the only way they get him.
Yeah.
Because he's like, well, if there's no world here to help, then, maybe I should do something about it. But he doesn't really want to be a superhero. And, yeah, so, but now let me ask you this. The Incredible Hulk wasn't in the Avengers. Would the Avengers be the same?
Well, that's. I think you might be looking for me to say no.
I don't know. I mean, it's your opinion. If you're like, oh yeah, they are, and sure, I could see it. I don't know. I'm honestly, what would you think they'd be the same? Or even if you took the Incredible Hulk movie, if the Incredible Hulk wasn't in it, would it be the same movie?
No.
No, it wouldn't be, right?
And
maybe the Avengers.
It would be different.
It would be different, right? It'd still be a movie.
Sure.
But it would be different. And I just had this revelation, man. Every single student that I meet, every single teacher that I meet, every single human being that I meet, if they weren't here, the movie, the story wouldn't be the same. Each individual, man, is the star of their own movie, but they're all stars within this greater scheme, this greater movie of life. And if a student is not in that class at that time, right now, the class will not be the same. That student belongs right there and now. They belong where they're at, no matter how tough their circumstances are. And that's a tough thing to say, but a lot of the superheroes, a lot of the fictional characters, they all have what? Hurdles and challenges, circumstances that are difficult to go through. But it really is what makes them who they are, and it is what gives them the ability to help others overcome their challenges. So I'm just convinced, man, that going back to what you said, you don't know who you're in the room with.
Yeah.
They are a star. And what I mean by star is they are such a vital and important character in this world today. Sometimes it's just the fact that they need to be told that and realize that, that they belong here, and that they the story just won't be the same. It won't be the story of life without them.
Yeah. Yeah. And every classroom and every family has the working elements of that story, which are active and progressing no matter what.
Yeah, and you have to make your own choices in that, man. And we talk a little bit about external locus of control and internal locus of control. These external circumstances. I was just talking with Tom actually last night, and we were chatting a little bit about, how the acceptance piece that we talk about. I don't believe it's ever really a good thing to say, hey, dude, you're great where you're at, kind of like what we're talking about, right? Like we got to improve, right? And hey, you're fine where you're at, you're good. That's not where the acceptance piece comes in. The acceptance piece comes in the fact that you have external circumstances that you are born into, that are created by other people, that impact you in such a way that could be difficult, could be great. A lot of times it's difficult though, and it's okay to accept those things and for other people to accept those things about you. These are your circumstances. And in that acceptance, then we can create a sense of belonging, and then push, be 16th century bullies, be sweethearts, and push those people to make those the internal locus of control, to make those internal choices, to choose to be better. And as I do more work with Sweethearts and Heroes, and as I do practicing, I'm going to do my first set of presentations tomorrow in Lawrence, New York. I'm going to present the Sweethearts and Heroes message. And one of the things that we say in there, they're a little bit different. The 3-5 is different than the K2, but in the 3-5, we talk about how everyone has hope within them.
Yeah.
And if you choose to, you can give that hope to others.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
that's one of the things that Mom and I are trying to push on Lily is not just accepting yourself and your imperfections and your mistakes, but also accepting your rewards, whether they be obvious. You got a medal hanging around your neck, you got a certificate, or whether or not you just know that you did something good or something right today. Man, it's like 13 pillows, man. Just at the end of the day. And I might argue with Tom that it doesn't have to necessarily be when the head hits the pillow. Because at that time, your brain could be kind of shutting down, tired. Maybe you had that chamomile tea. I don't know. But you're just, all the neurons aren't necessarily firing. It's time to go to bed. But have that awakening, that realization during the day. Hey, I did the right thing, or hey, I did the wrong thing, or hey, I wish I could have done this differently. One of the things that Lily at 5th grade now is learning all the time at school, and you know this from talking to kids, is that the importance of actions over words. Not to say that words aren't important. Pay someone a compliment. I like your nails. I like your outfit. I like your hair. But it's more powerful to show that. If you get out of the car and we're running late to school and there's not a million kids that are all walking into the school at the same time, you get out of the car and there's one kid who's walking in. Older, younger, different grade, different class, whatever, doesn't matter. Run up to that kid and walk into school with them and say, good morning. My name's Lily. What's yours? Show the action that just that tiny little seemingly uneventful thing could shape or lay the foundation for a very good day for not only the person that's demonstrating that action, but also for the person that's receiving it. It's so tiny and seemingly so irrelevant, but yet so powerful and profound at the same time.
Yeah, man. You know, we gotta at some point talk more about this too, just on a individual level. But you know, I was thinking last night about you and about the call, and you know, one of the things that uh, Tom's a 16th century bully for pretty much everybody that he meets.
Yes, he is.
He's a sweetheart. He pushes people, and he, you know, I was excited today. Last night, and he sent me this one text, and I hope he doesn't mind me calling him out here, but he sent me this one text, man, and all it said was, "Make sure you tell good stories."
Oh,
and of course,
you're talking about when you come on aired out?
Yeah, when I come on the podcast, you know, make sure
Yeah.
you tell good stories.
Yeah.
Tom's great at telling stories. He
Yes.
loves to hear stories, but you know, knowing me, I got all in my head.
Oh,
stories.
Oh, yeah.
What stories? But you know, this one came to mind, and it's really apropos, I think, right here, if you don't mind, if I tell it. But you're talking about actions speaking louder than words. I can't shut up. My words are usually, they get me into trouble, and they also do some good for me.
Same here.
Yeah, it's just the way that it is, right?
Yep.
But we you know, people like us, we fight to calm our words and make our actions more directed and for the betterment of other people. And I had this experience last year where I showed you my box last time, my briefcase.
Yes.
It's got all these stickers.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Well, I had just put on one sticker, and with kind of the hopes that, hey, maybe kids will give me stickers. But I just started getting stickers from kids, and most of them didn't even have any stories. They just wanted a piece of them on the briefcase, which that's awesome. That's what it's for. So I'm putting these stickers on. I'm getting all these stickers at this one school from all these young ladies. They're giving me these stickers, and I get them all. And some of them are like, "Oh, put it on," and some of them just give them to me, and I put them on afterwards. But I get this one sticker, and it's a rainbow heart that says "Love wins." And I had a bit of a struggle with that. Just, you know, I told you I'm very faith-based and religious, and I had a struggle with this, man. I'm going to be vulnerable here. I really struggle because, you know, I didn't necessarily want to put that on my case for everybody to see and think that I necessarily proclaim that. I don't know how else to put it, but this young lady gave it to me. And so I didn't put it on, kind of forgot about it. I stuck it in my backpack. I didn't get rid of it. I kind of forgot about it. A couple weeks later, I go back to the same school. Hey, where's my sticker? Oh, I forgot about it. I just haven't had time to put it on yet. I lied to her a little bit. I just haven't had time to put it on yet. Really, I forgot. And I said that too. She goes, "Oh, okay, that's all right." Walks away. Leave. I'm like, "Oh man, I don't know if I can do it." This happened probably about 2-3 more visits, man. Where finally I'm in a circle with this young lady, and her friends are going, "He still hasn't put the sticker on." Can you believe that? He still hasn't put the sticker on.
Wow.
And yeah, man, And I look at her and I go, I'm sorry, I haven't got where if when I go to put it on, she's sitting right next to me in this circle. When I go to put it on, where should I put it? And she very contemplative. She's like, maybe that no, but that would cover up another sticker. I said, that's fine. It's okay if it covers up a little bit of another. You want it right there? She's like, yeah, right there. I said, okay. We get the circle started, and we start having some good conversation. But it goes around, and I ask the question: if you could change one thing about this school, what would you change? And she goes, first one, and she goes, I'd fix the issue of bullying because nothing ever gets done about it. She passes it, and you could kind of see a number of the students kind of shaking their heads, like this young lady seems a little bit on the outer fringes of everybody, and she doesn't care. She's like, I'm gonna say it anyways. Goes around, comes back to me, obviously make a comment on that. The circle ends, and I head out. I got to go all the way up near Canada for my next school, so I'm driving, and all of a sudden I'm just getting hit hard with, dude, why haven't you put that on your briefcase yet? Like, what's the real deal here, man? Well, I don't want people to think, dude, hang on. And I just heard this voice tell me, what's the briefcase for? Sat there and I thought, students, to give hope, to hold on, possibilities exist. And why have you not put that sticker on there? Why haven't you made that one little action that's going to make that young lady's day? Okay. So I slap it on there, man. And I'm not making this up. The next day I go to a school. And I get into this school, never been there before. These kids are taken from their classrooms. They're brought all the way down to this room that nobody ever uses. And there's this circle of chairs there. And they're like, oh my goodness, what is this? And this one particular 8th grade group walks in. Kids sit down right next to me on my left. Says, I don't want to be here. I was forced to come. I said, oh, dude, me too. He goes, well, at least you get paid. I said, touche, brother. You're right. You got me there. We sit down. It's she's a Spanish teacher. She sits down, and we'll go through this circle, and it was a great circle. We had a great time, but these young people they just had every comment in the book, and it made it fun, man. I mean, I couldn't get 3 words out without this young lady cutting me off, but we were having fun and we were breaking down barriers. So they leave, and the teacher says, oh, you guys can find your way back. And she's like, I got to talk to you. She goes, we need to talk. I struggle so hard with that group. I don't know what to do. I said, well, come back after the day and we'll sit down and talk. So she comes back at the end of the day, and she sits down and she just opens up her heart. She's just like, well, I'm the only openly lesbian person on the staff. And every kid knows it. And this particular group, they harass me for it and make fun of me for it. And they do not, I just can't connect with them. I don't know how to connect. All I want to do is connect with them. I just can't connect with them. She's like, I'm from the city, and I'm one of the only people of color here, and I just can't connect with them. I don't know what to do. How do I do what you just did in that circle? And I don't know what was telling me, man, but I was just being told, tell the rainbow sticker story. I just put it on there. And I looked at her and I said, listen, I may not agree with certain things. I said, but that briefcase is for students and for teachers. And it's to show hope and that possibilities exist. And really, it's to build relationships. And man, the pursuing conversation was one of love and kindness and tranquility between people. We openly admitted where we disagreed with each other in a lot of ways, not just on some topics. And but we had this conversation, man, where it ended in tears, and we were able to embrace, and we were able to walk out of there. And a lot of the conflict had to do with my faith and her faith, and we both walked out of there just asking each other more questions out of a genuine curiosity about each other's perspective. And that's what Sweethearts and Heroes is about. It's to lay aside some of our words and to try to do these small and maybe seemingly insignificant actions of sticking a rainbow sticker on a briefcase. But it's to show that young lady that I care about her and who she is. And then to be able to show that teacher, hey, I care about you. Let's have a conversation. So it was a life-changing moment for me, man, where, there was no argument or anger. There was only love. And honestly, man, that day love won. And I'm proud to say that, not because of me, but because of this this axiom of Sweethearts and Heroes. So thanks for letting me share that, man. I just felt like I needed to get that off my chest.
You can't plan stuff like this, Joe. You just can't plan stuff like this. It's incredible how things like this just happen.
Yeah, it is. It's a bit overwhelming at times, you know. But small actions, man. I'm right there with you, brother.
Tom may or may not have a full grasp of the impacts that Sweethearts and Heroes is having on his own team outside of the school administration that he knows that he is having an impact on and the kids in these schools. But he may not know. Maybe he has a little bit of an idea. The depth of the grasp of the impact that he's having on his own team, like you.
Changed my life.
Incredible. I want to before we close out, I just want to throw something at you here that what's amazing is I've said this to Tom before. I'm like, sometimes when I have you guys on, there are things where I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to bring that up. But in our conversation, I'm like, oh, I have to. And I know it's a little bit of a gear shift, but I just want to throw this at you, and I want to throw this at my followers, the listeners, and Tom, of course, and the rest of the team at Sweethearts and Heroes. What's your interpretation of this, and how? I haven't had a chance to respond to this yet, but I'm going to at some point once I digest it and process it. There's a rock. It's a huge boulder, and it's near the entrance of Lily's school. And when kids are dropped off and they're walking into the school, this boulder, which is kind of flat on the surface. It's maybe, I don't know, 1.5 feet, 2 feet off the ground, but it's pretty big. It's probably 3 or 4 feet wide and maybe, 5 or 6 feet long. It's a huge boulder, but it's right there in the middle of the walkway to go into school. I've always known the boulder was there. I mean, 5 years now going to this school, I've always known that boulder was there. I said to Lily this morning when we were pulling in, I noticed that every kid that was walking into the school would step up onto the boulder, walk across the boulder, and down off the other side and continue walking, because this boulder's right there in the middle of the path. And I said to her, Lily, see that big rock right there? And she's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, I've always known that rock was there, but what I've never noticed is how many people walk up on top of that rock when they're walking into school. And she said, yeah, Dad. And they step up on that rock and walk across that rock at the end of the day, too, when they're leaving school. And I said to her, I'm like, that must be, and I know this is a little bit of a Murphyism here, but I said to her, that is got to be one happy rock. And she said, why is that, Dad? And I'm like, well, because look where it is. Look at where it's positioned. It didn't ask to be positioned right there, interrupting the foot traffic of all of these kids in your school. But it was put there. I don't know who put it there. Maybe the earth put it there. Maybe a tractor moved it there 100 years ago. I don't know. But it's got to be a happy rock, because every morning and every afternoon, it sees the kids coming and knows that they're going to step up on the rock, touch the rock, and move on. Probably knows every single kid in the school. And we got a little, JD, I got a little far out in my thinking here. And I could see in her eyes in the rear view that this was having a little bit of an impact on her. And she was nodding her head. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She says, I think I'm going to name the rock. Lily names everything. We have ducks, we have chickens, cats, a bunny rabbit. Everybody's got a name. I said, all right, what's your name for the rock? And she says, it's got to be Dave. And I'm like, all right, Dave the Rock it is. And I said, would you agree that Dave's pretty happy? Pretty happy rock? And she was like, oh, yeah. Dave gets a lot of activity every day. Then she said, it makes me feel bad for the other rocks that are up in the woods that nobody sees. That are covered up by leaves and whatnot. So that that hit me. Then she said, and I know I'm all over the road here. Then she said, I wonder if the other rocks are jealous of Dave. And if they would like Dave. Because Dave's getting all the attention. Dave's the popular boulder in the area. And that, of course, see you, Dad, peck on the cheek, gone.
Go on.
And I'm like, driving in, thinking, is she suggesting that because Dave's so popular, that the other rocks might not love Dave or like him?
Hmm.
I don't know, man. I know it's a Murphyism. What
No,
say
that's
what say you
that,
before we close out, man?
man. I don't even know. That's that's one of the epitomes um of what we do a lot of contemplating on, because you said your daughter's 10.
Yeah,
10 years old, man. And this I wonder question comes out. Wonder if they all get jealous because Dave gets all the attention. And that's a deep one, dude. And I know for a fact that that happens for us humans,
sure.
right? We do that all the time, and we get jealous of those who get the attention. And maybe the Rocks too. I'd like to hope that the Rocks um, are a little bit better than we are as humans, and they're just so happy to see one of their kind getting so much love.
Yeah,
That's what I would hope from the other Rocks,
yeah,
is that they can, through the fact that Dave is getting so much love, not because he placed himself there, right?
that's right.
He was placed there. We don't know how. Maybe those Rocks know how because they were there with Dave. And I would hope that and it's not easy, especially for humans, but as Rocks, I would hope that they would look at the Rock and say, Dave's the man. I'm so glad that Dave gets that love. He's standing up for all the other Rocks in this world, baby. That's what I'd be looking for.
Bro, I would be remiss if I didn't close out this morning with asking you about this. Partly because I want to ask you, and the other part is that Tom has threatened to choke me out if I don't ask you, because it's a hot button. And Tom was just in here last Wednesday. Your brief thoughts, feelings, reflections on cell phones in schools. We both know that Tom's walking around with stickers that he got for himself, that he's pasting on his body, that say cell phone free when he walks into a school now. But closing out this morning, what say you about all of this? Is it the conduit that is it the foundation of connectivity that we have to others? And can that be put on pause long enough to not be distracted, for lack of a better term, of the other things that we need to focus on in school?
Yeah, man, it's a big thing. Um, I really can only relate it to my own experience. And when I got a phone, I got my phone taken away from me because I didn't use it enough, because my parents didn't want to pay for it. Um, and that's not the case for most students today. And I do think, man, I have been connected with people that I love over my phone for years now. And I wouldn't have the community base of people that I can go and talk to without my phone. So I do think there is a lot of merit and standing in saying that these students, these kids, use this to connect with their friends. I think the science in a lot of ways can be clear that physical face-to-face connection is more impactful and beneficial. I think that, and Tom probably has said this, but I think we have an immense opportunity this year to ask these young people and talk with these young people, just like you got to talk to your daughter about Dave. And she brought up this extremely fascinating, wondering question that we probably wouldn't have thought of as adults. I think we have this immense opportunity, even in the frustration and maybe even the anger of these students. They hold some of the keys, man. And I believe this with my whole heart. They hold some of the keys of how we progress as a society in this world.
Absolutely.
And so I'm just looking forward to getting to use this. The circumstances are not from our own selves. These are imposed circumstances, no phones. Let's use it as a community together to dive deeper down into our humanity, and most importantly, into the one thing that matters today and now: relationships. That's what I believe.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on with me this morning.
Thanks for having me, man. It's really a pleasure, and we're gonna make it happen in person.
Yeah,
I
dude.
promise.
Have to. Just got a comment here. Final comment, and we're closing out. And I appreciate your time so much. And I hope you know that. Comment here that just came in. Dave will slowly get smaller over time, giving himself to the kids day in and day out. And he will erode slowly. Friction, etc. Then the other rocks will see what the true cost was. Would they still be so jealous? Or would they be proud to have known Dave? That's the question posed by Loudon Granger.
I love that guy.
Yeah. Dude, thanks, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Love you, pal. Can't wait to give you a big hug.
Hey, same here. Same here. Love you too, brother.